Well, welcome to the second part of the game between Tarrasch and Kurscher, played in Nuremberg 1889, which is a Queen's Gambit accepted game, ECO code D20. And I just covered, or I just had mentioned, White's 15th move, which was knight to E4. And the purpose behind this move is another attack on the bishop on F6. And now White is threatening to win material by, let's say, Black made some move which didn't affect the position too much, like A6. Then White would play knight takes F6, and if Black recaptured with G takes F6, then Black would play bishop takes F6, which is a fork between the king and the rook, so winning material. So that's what White is threatening. So rather it's going to win the knight, or it's going to win a rook. But instead, Black on its 15th move played bishop to E7, giving another defender to the knight on F6 and unpinning the knight. So what White decides to do now is to remove the knight, because it's going to pin another piece. So what White sees now is that it's going to focus its attack from this knight over to this bishop. And this knight is a defender of this bishop, so it's going to take it out. So White plays bishop takes F6. Now Black responds G takes F6, and then White castles long. Now you could say castling long for White may not be the best choice, but what it did is that the reason is that the king is slightly exposed, but I don't think that's anything to really worry about. What White really accomplished is that this rook looks down this file, and now this bishop here is pinned. So now White's attack is going to shift to exploiting the pin on the bishop. So first thing is Black on its 17th move will play knight to E5, doing two things. It's giving another defender to the bishop on D7, and it's also attacking White's bishop on F7. And now White plays knight to F4, threatening mate at once. By mate at once would be playing the knight to E6, giving checkmate. And now what is Black to do? Well, the first thing you don't want to do actually is to play, which looks very tempting in this circumstance, because you're going to say, well, I'm going to get rid of a piece, for Black to play knight takes F7. This actually leads to a losing game where White's going to get Black's going to get checkmated, or White's going to win a lot of material. So the continuation, if Black played knight takes F7, would be queen takes F7, and then there isn't too many good choices, because now the checkmate of knight to E6 is renewed. So let's say Black tried to play bishop takes, or bishop to D6, then White would probably just play queen takes F6, which is a check on the king and attacking this rook. So the king would move, and then White would just take the rook would check. The king would probably move, and then White could win the pawn over here. So White's going to go up a lot of material. Also, if the king starts walking out, possibly there's a nice mating attack in there somewhere. It's one possible continuation. Now, or instead of playing the bishop up, black could move the queen over, giving the king a flight square. If black decides to do that, then check. White will just play knight to e6 check. The king goes over. We win that bishop. And now white is threatening mate by taking the bishop. So black would have to play something like b6. Not the only move. White could also, black could also play. I meant to say black has to play something like b6 or b5. But let's say black plays b6, then the queen would just take the bishop. Thing has to go to b7, and then white plays knight to d6, check, and king to a6, and checkmate. So that's just how that could go if that knight decided to take that bishop, which isn't a good idea. But going back to the original idea of when black took the bishop, is that black is going to play queen to b8 for the reasons I stated before on the on sort of the analysis line, is to create breathing room for the king. But now white on its 19th move plays queen to e6. The idea is to, for white, is to play knight takes f6, giving it another attacker on the bishop. And then black played rook to f8, trying to scare off the bishop. But white took knight takes f6, and then black played bishop to d6, trying to interfere, sort of cover that analysis line. There aren't too many options for black, so black plays bishop to d6, sort of taking the pin away. Now the queen is under attack. But here white will, on its 21st move, will just play knight takes d7, then knight takes d7, and then white will play on its 22nd move rook on h to e1. The threat is for a queen sacrifice on e8, where the rook would have to take. So it would be something like take, and then this rook would come down here and take and be checkmate. So that is the game between Tarrasch and Kurscher, Nuremberg, 1889.